All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Now, please let me explain. Here's why. Number one, it's free. What's better than free? Number two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or computer. You can literally go outside, record whatever you want to, and upload it. That's that easy. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more streaming services. Here's another great point. You can make more money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Okay, you can make as much money as you want, and there's no minimum on how many listeners will need to listen to it. And lastly, it's everything you need to make a podcast, a successful podcast, in one place. So they make it super easy for you. Here's what you need to do right now. If you're interested in making a podcast, you need to download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor, ANCHOR.FM to get started now. You do not want to miss out. Get started again. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.com to get started now. What's up, everyone? Mike, we have Will. This is our new podcast, talking sports, music, all other topics. This is called The BOYZ. We're going live. Let's hit it with our intro. Avoid legal snags by telling people they're being recorded. You are being recorded.
And literally when I tell you 3 days, I'm just...
So long to do something like... Whoa.
I would tell that person to just do it.
That's our temporary intro right now. John hopefully will be joining in a little bit. We have Will, we have Mike. This is The BOYZ.
The BOYZ.
Sports. Basically sports updates from the week, other topics as well. Will, how you doing today?
Doing good. What's going on, my guy?
I'm ready to talk some developing sports stories. But first, I got to ask you, what the heck happened on that play that made you want to jump and literally flying kick into that guy going into home base? Like, what is that about?
That was a whole lot of Gansett on a hot day and balls to the wall all day. That's what we always play, man. It was some good times.
I want to play. Are you guys going to go back and play? Is that kickball?
Yeah, we hope so. It was that was the 16th season. And then everything got shut down, but hopefully we're hoping to get back out there. The Providence Kickball League, and my guy Sean Larkin, run by Revival now, and he's doing big things with that. So we're hoping to get back out there. It's just, you never know with COVID. Every time you start going again, a change comes.
Mm-hmm.
But, we was out there with Unstoppables. It was 6 seasons in with our team, and do whatever you can for a win.
It's terrible. Let's get into it because I know you got the Easter Bunny to run to after. First story, I think one of the big stories, especially locally, is the decision for David Duke to leave the Friars, forego his senior year, and go into the draft.
Yeah.
You're the PC expert more than me. Well, let's go into it.
I'm not sure if people are going to see this, and if they see it, they don't agree with me. Too bad. I'm glad. I want him out of PC. I think he's a great player, but playing in Providence is too much pressure on him. Being a hometown kid, being called the savior of Providence. When Dunn came, Dunn was good. And I think Dunn's a better overall player than Duke, but Dunn didn't have the pressure. He's coming from God Shamgod, Chris Dunn, Bryce Cotton, Kyron Cartwright. Like PC just been putting out point guards, and he just has so much pressure on him at a young age. He needs a new place to go out there and just drive. And I seen the latest mock has him going to the Lakers, which I don't know about that fit. But I just think get him out there, get him in the league, and let's see what he can do and run. Even if it's in the G League is a good spot for him to develop. But just being in Providence is so much pressure, and being a savior, the king of Providence, all that. Just let him be a kid for a little bit and go play ball.
Yeah, I'm not. I would never get on anyone for wanting to leave college and go make money. But my question is, a lot of the comments were a mistake. This is a mistake. Why are you leaving right now? You should be staying another year to get better, potentially, maybe get better draft position, make more money. A lot of the comments were, this kid's going to be playing in Europe.
No.
So what's your thoughts on that? Was it too early? Do you think he could have played more again next year, done even better, had a higher draft position, higher guaranteed money?
Another thing too is the way the league is now. The older you get, the less value you have. So at a young age, when you have upside, you got to take that. I mean, he's not even 21 years old yet. You have to take that opportunity when you're young. Get out there, and even if he has only 3-4 years in the league, say that's still $6 million worth of first round pick. He's projected in the first round. You got to go.
Really?
Yeah, he's projected a first round pick.
Oh wow, like late first round.
Yeah, late first round.
Really?
Yeah, the latest mock I have, the Lakers taking him at 24. And he's just an NBA prototype player, so he's a perfect fit for the NBA system. He's got the perfect body type, the perfect length. He's an NBA player. It just he has to be in the right offense. Just lets him play. You can't put him in a box, try to be a point guard. And that was the problem. In Providence, he was trying to be a point guard. But he's more of a two guard, off the ball, let him create. A lot of his biggest highlights was catching alleys off the backdoor screens. And in the NBA, if he plays off the ball, he'll do so much better. And the other thing, so I think a lot of the problem, too, is you got the kid coming out of Michigan, Kwity Paye, and he's projected as a top 15 pick. So people are putting those two in the same category. But football and basketball is so different, where in basketball, if you have any potential of going in the first round, you got to take it. Because you come back next year, you don't know what next year's draft is. It could be point guard heavy, and he won't even be getting looked at anymore. It'd be second round. And there's only a few NBA teams that really need a point guard anymore, because there's so many NBA teams that grab from the G.
So elite now. It's an elite position.
And even this point guards, I mean, how many real point guards are there anymore? There's not that Chris Paul type point guard anymore.
No.
A lot of times, you're being a Celtics fan, Jason Tatum's the one bringing the ball up, or Jaylen Brown's bringing the ball up. And they're 6'9", 6'10", and they're playing the point guard role.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if anything, any real like if you're just talking legit point guards wanting to pass the ball, I mean, they're lower level guys. They're Rondo, even though Rondo's coming off the bench. They're a Goran Dragic. They're a Ricky Rubio. They're players like that. But you look at the assist leaders in the league. It's LeBron. It's Luka.
It's Joe.
Wing players.
And Joker.
Yeah, the Joker.
Yeah.
It's not point guards anymore.
And David Duke, his athletic ability, I mean, he's perfect for the NBA where he just gets to the basket, makes plays. I mean, his three-point shot's better. But also with the team that he has coming back next year, who knows what's going to happen. If he comes back, gets injured, then what? Everyone's going to be saying he should have left earlier. And that's what happens a lot of times. And college, I mean, when your stock is high, you got to take it.
Absolutely, and I think another thing to think about too is with the Lakers. Let's say the mock draft is him going to 24 to the Lakers. LeBron James runs that team. I mean, no one can say otherwise. He runs that team. So if LeBron James likes you, that's that's got to say something.
I mean, Boobie Gibson was in the NBA for 6 years because LeBron.
Danny Gibson, right?
Yeah, because LeBron liked him. There's no way Bryce Cotton's a whole lot better than him. It's just Bryce Cotton never got on a team where LeBron liked him. Have you seen
some of the stats from Bryce Cotton?
Oh, yeah, he's 5-time MVP in Australia.
Why is no one giving him a shot over here? Just a 10-day.
I know he's 5'10". I mean, he's 5'10", and so Isaiah Thomas just got signed.
Yep, which is good for him. Yeah. I love that dude.
But I mean, you can't tell me right now that what's his name, Pritchard. Chris Dunn, not Chris Dunn, David Duke, you put him in the Celtics spot. He could bring the ball up on that Celtics team. But now when the offense slows down, I think he would get lost with trying to find where he belongs with, say, Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He would get lost in that offense. But if you tell him to go play basketball, he's fine. And that's what you got to do with a lot of these high school kids coming out or college kids. Just tell them to go play ball.
Yep.
Like the kid from Denver, Porter, was it Michael Porter? Elite athlete, great athlete, but he can't run an offense. But if you tell him to get you a bucket, he'll get you a bucket.
Yeah, and I don't think, but we'll talk about the Celtics quickly in a minute because he goes on the Celtics team. If the Celtics take him, he ain't getting the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Tatum, I don't know if you saw that the other day. I don't know if you saw the video, but Tatum literally against Dallas dribbles the ball the whole shot clock. Doesn't look. Pritchard cuts to the basket, wide open. You had, I forget who else. Is it Grant Williams or Neesmith in the corner, wide open. Pritchard cut literally, and Fournier, so Pritchard comes up, right? He comes up off of screen from Fournier to get the ball to take it out of Tatum's hand, and Fournier literally looks at him and goes, forget it. You ain't you're not getting the ball.
But sadly, that's the NBA now.
Yeah.
There's a player on just about every team. Like, I mean, you name a team in the NBA, there's a player on it that's doing that. And that's why players like Chris Dunn, I mean, keep saying Dunn, David Duke, they'll have a hard time in the NBA adjusting. But if they have a good point guard, say if he goes to Phoenix with Chris Paul, you know how many lobs he'll catch with Chris Paul?
Yeah.
Just backdoor screens, alleys, and he plays defense. So stuff like that. But if he's on a team where he has to get his own shot, he's going to have a hard time.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Celtics right now. That to flow into that conversation quickly, I am so down on them this year right now. It's like not even. I didn't even watch the game yesterday. Like I am so. They're annoying to watch. They are. They're annoying to watch. I'm the lowest I've been with Tatum. I am at the point. If you can get something amazing for him in a package in the offseason and build a team around Jaylen Brown, because here's the way I look at it. Right, I wasn't around for this. But I remember watching videos and listening. You have Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker. You have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I think Antoine Walker was very talented. He was probably more talented than Pierce at the time. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I'll put Jason Tatum as Antoine Walker. I'll put Jaylen Brown as Paul Pierce. They both were immature, and Paul Pierce took forever to mature. It took him Kevin Garnett to come in.
You said Paul Pierce mature, and you see the video of him last night?
I'm talking as a basketball player. Yeah. But I think, I mean, Brown's not perfect. I think he is the more hustler. I think Tatum quits at times. Tatum's more talented. Again, I'll say that. But if someone comes at you with a big man, I'm not saying I don't want to get rid of them, but I'm not also trying to build my future around Tatum right now. Like, I'll keep him, but if someone comes after you with an offer, a Godfather offer to get Tatum and get rid of Tatum for another player or something, more established presence, I'm doing it. Are you
trading Tatum for Cat?
I don't see with him. I don't know. See, Garnett was different. Garnett was a leader. Garnett made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Towns has done nothing, other than put up stats. So I don't know if it's him. It's got to be more of an established, I don't know, seeing the way Harden's played. I wouldn't have, but Harden's also on a 2-year contract, so you're willing to trade Tatum for 2 years. Again, I'm more patient. Now, listen, an ideal thing, imagine them being able to bring in Bradley Beal without having to give up either one of them.
But then, I mean, you have a backcourt. If you have a backcourt of Kemba and Beal, I don't know how confident.
I'm done with Kemba. I think Kemba's done after next year. So he's got one more year left on his contract. But the part is, it's just if you're going to pick one guy going forward, you have to. I don't think Brown and Tatum can play together.
I was saying this the other day. Those two guys can't be your core pieces.
No. You either have to go get one more established person in free agency, or trade one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honestly, it's going to come to the point where they'll probably trade Brown because Tatum's the more talented guy. So if that's the case, then if you're going to get rid of Brown and you're going to move on from Brown and you're going to build around, Antoine Walker, a.k.a. Jason Tatum, that's your call. Then you make him in charge of this team. You get rid of Brad Stevens, which I don't blame any. I've been on the fire Brad Stevens train. Now I'm asking him to quit. Because this is not his. I don't blame him at all for this year. I blame Danny Ainge, and I don't think he's a good coach, but they're not listening to him right now. They're not listening. He's not taking this. Jason said we're bugging with these takes. Why?
Who's Jason?
Jason Rojas?
He's a big time Celtics fan. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I mean, I don't know. Do you enjoy watching this team right now? I don't. I mean, I'm willing to give them time, but how much time? Well,
the problem with Celtics fans right now is that they make the playoffs, they're happy. And
yes,
they're going to make the playoffs in the East, but that's about it.
Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing I'll say. If they can get this together, they still have time. I mean, they're still, I think, 2 games away from the 4th spot, 3 games. Like, it's not out of reach that they can go up into the top 4. But if they can get it together and play together, then maybe they can make a run in the playoffs. And I agree. Tatum and Brown are the core. They are the core. I mean, I think you can develop around them, but it's a question of can they play together.
The East playoffs, you have to be a 3. You can't be a 4 seed.
Yeah, and he's right. They need established vets. They need champion players on there. That's why when I say, and not only just players, they need champion coaches. They need a player to come in and coach, someone that's going to get to Tatum. But Stevens isn't doing it. They have no one. A lot of the ideas this week, like I know people probably don't like him, but you know, a guy like Perkins, I'm not saying him exactly, but like a Perkins, a champion guy who can come in and look at Tatum and bench that dude when he dribbles 24 seconds out of the shot clock and say, dude, you're not doing this. I don't think I've ever seen Jaylen Brown do that.
I think a lot of I don't even know. I mean, I don't follow the Celtics coaching staff, but they don't even have that assistant coach. That's
Evan Turner.
Who
the heck is Evan Turner? What? Evan Turner is not working.
Should have kept Walter McCarty.
Yeah.
Walter McCarty, a guy like that's a great fit. Even I know he's local, but like when God Shamgar was in Providence, he's over in Dallas now. A guy that will say something. I mean, like the Lakers have four assistant coaches that could be head coaches. Get an established vet that's been behind the coach, like Sam Cassell.
Oh, beautiful. He'd be perfect.
Perfect. Guys like that, get them in the wing, let them know the system, and bring them up behind.
He already does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he played here and he coached here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was on Doc's staff one year.
I honestly thought Brad Stevens was going to look at the Indiana job when that opened up in college and go back, but that got filled quick.
Yeah. I don't think he wants to go anywhere. I don't think Ainge wants to get rid of him. But I think that's the ultimate thing to go because it's a players' league, and you're going to have to. Hopefully he resigns. I'd rather see him resign. I know he knows nothing about basketball. Neither does he know anything about music. He knows nothing about good music either. So
I think the problem too is like with the Celtics getting an established vet. How many vets are there that are really established on teams right now that are tradable? There's very few.
Very few.
There's Chris Paul's one of the very few guys you put him on your team and you can rebuild what you're going for.
Well, then here's the thing. Then okay, maybe we're gonna go to player route. Maybe we keep them, and we go the coach route. Mm-hmm. We bring in again not him because he's at the Clippers, but a Ty Lue type guy. I think Sam Cassell would be perfect.
Sam Cassell would be what's his name?
Perfect player coach. The X's and O's at the end of the day only go so far now in the NBA. It's about getting to the players. And Stevens' X and O's are fine. He's not getting to Tatum because they're not listening to him. Another
guy that he's actually starting to do some coaching now is Chauncey. He was doing some in the G League. Get him experience as an assistant. Get him out there. Guys like that. I mean, Steve Nash came right off the street, got the coaching job. And a lot of people were upset with saying that, he got it because he's white or whatever. But a guy like Chauncey, Kenny Smith, he's coaching in high school. Guys like that who play, they know the game. Grab one of those guys up.
And what's one thing that they all have in common that Brad Stevens doesn't have? Two things.
Winning.
Number one, they played, and number two, they won a championship.
Exactly, yeah.
Now, in college, if I were Brad Stevens, I'd be calling North Carolina and saying, hey, I'd love to apply for this. Go down there. Go back to college.
Herb Davis? Herb Davis. So he's probably going to go over there. Go back to his alumni, but I mean, they needed somebody who can talk to those players and get a system. Because right now the Celtics have no identity.
Yeah, no, they don't. I mean, who are they listening to? The assistant coaches, Jay Larranaga, what the heck has he done? Who are they listening to? Evan Turner, okay. But Tatum's looking at Evan Turner, and he's like, dude.
What have you done?
You did nothing. I mean, you're a little good player here. You did some good things off the bench for the Celtics a couple of years ago, but what are you doing here? So they got to bring in, I think, but here's the thing, Ainge isn't going to do it. Ainge has never fired a coach.
No.
Ever in 20 years.
And I seen the article that they had on a Bleacher Report that said expect a big off season for the Celtics. I'm like,
every year is a big off season, though. Come on.
You got no money. You're locked into 3 guys. Your money's locked in at 3 players, and no free agents going there for league minimum.
No, and that's the thing. They don't have that draw. Another thing that was interesting too that I thought of. It would just be awesome because he's my favorite player of all time. But like, imagine a guy like KG. He wants to be an owner. Minnesota has completely treated that guy terribly. Like he's the guy who brought the Timberwolves to relevance. Without him, they would never be a relevant team. And they don't want to sell the team to him or give him part ownership. So if I'm Danny Ainge or I'm the Wick Grossbeck, the owner, I'm calling KG and be like, hey, you want to get in? You want to get in on the Celtics right now? Just having him there, having him looking down at the whole facility and then being able to be at practice. He doesn't have to be there all the time. But he can go up to Tatum and be like, dude, you really had to do that last night? What's wrong with you? You want to win? This is how you win. Let's go one-on-one, and then he can play all the guys one-on-one and destroy them. But, like, that's what they need. That's what they need.
And it's crazy because, like, I mean, you think about the vets who, like, succeeded in the Celtics. They're all going, like, Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce. They don't go around the Celtics once they leave. So it has to be something that's Danny Ainge, linked to Danny Ainge and upper manager because there's no vet that was established that still hangs around the Celtics. Like, you don't see the guys courtside. I mean, Paul Pierce is out in L.A. I don't know where Antoine Walker is. Trying to think other.
I don't want him leading no one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want him leading no one.
Ray Allen has no time before, but there's no Celtic you could think of that could come back and actually help out. I mean, what, McHale? He's running
Perkins, I think, is that guy. Yeah. I honestly think he's pretty good at his job. A lot of people don't like him. I think he actually tells it how it is. I do like him. But I think, like, I'm not going to listen to Scal. I think Scal does a great job with his job to keep him there. But a guy like Perk, I mean, yeah, he wasn't the greatest thing since sliced bread. But, again, he is someone.
Yeah.
He is someone. And they don't have that someone. A guy like Chauncey Billups would be awesome. I like Chauncey. Sam Cassell, one of those type of guys. But yeah, so that's the Celtics. They're in a rough spot right now. They need to make some changes. I think the players listen more to Danny Ainge if Danny Ainge goes down there because he actually won.
Yeah, you can talk about experiences, what you do in certain situations, not just write it out, but talk about what you do there.
Yeah,
if you look at a lot of teams that are on the top, you see players that are taking control in the timeouts. There's no one like that in the Celtics.
No, not at all. And again, Tatum and Brown could develop into that. I think they're good. I think they're still young. I mean, it's not like they're 29 years old and they're having these leadership issues. Like, they're still young. I mean, they're my age. But like,
and the crazy part is, I think Rozier did that a lot for the Celtics. Rozier was actually a guy that would tell Tatum. I think it was almost in a way Tatum would listen to Rozier. So losing Rozier, I mean, it was a trade for Kimber, but I think Rozier was a far better fit because he knew his role. Even Isaiah Thomas, the way he played for them.
I would have been happy with that. Why they didn't make a 10-day contract for Isaiah Thomas, I don't know why. Or even made a trade for Rondo. Like, again, I know these guys are on top of the barrel, but these are veterans. And Isaiah Thomas didn't win anything, but he also put up a 30-point season. He was a baller every single game. We don't have to explain his story. But, like, are you drinking a Truly?
No, this is a...
Sure. Yeah, sure. But, they definitely need a core shake-up there. So that's it on the Celtics. Quickly, I know you have to go see the Easter Bunny. I thought we'd put up, not talking about the specifics or anything, but let's talk about quickly your thoughts on Deshaun Watson and his effect of what's going on the rest of the NFL. Because I think he's done.
It's great. So I had on my cousin, shout out to Michaela the other day. She's a prosecutor, so she was talking a little bit legal side of it. And basically what she was saying was it's hard to go either way. And when we talked for a little bit afterwards, I'm thinking 22 cases come out, and the numbers are just crazy. And then his attorney comes out afterwards and said, well, I got 20 other ones that say he was perfectly fine. So you're saying you went to 42 different massage parlors and 42 different people, and a lot of the people are all over the place. I heard one of the comments was like, so you're saying any girl that goes to his house, you know what to expect. I'm like, what is that? Like, you can't say stuff like that, and it's just.
No.
I mean, I can't see how in this day and age that we're in, and the way the media coverage is, and the Me Too movement, and everything that's going forward with women's rights, there's no way I could see him taking snaps next year.
No.
And I see Houston's actually looking at Alex Smith now as a replacement, just in case.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the stupid thing about Houston. If they knew all this stuff was going to come about, I would have traded him 2 months ago.
Oh, they signed Tyrod Taylor too.
Yeah. I don't see him playing anymore. And it has an effect on the rest of the quarterbacks because now, you take, again, I want Jimmy G back here. You take him going to San Francisco out of the mix now. Because why is San Francisco going to trade for this? Why are they going to trade for Deshaun Watson? Unless he gets cleared and he get innocent until proven guilty, unless he gets cleared and they trade for him. But right now it's not looking that way. And I think he affects the whole landscape of the offseason right now.
Well, even if he gets cleared, I don't think a team wants that marketing because your quarterback's the face of your franchise. And you don't want him as your face right now, especially with the way the marketing and everything going on. You don't want that to be the face.
No, that's true.
So many other positive stories, and the way the commercials are right now, they want something positive. And shout out real quick. Shout out to I don't know if you caught the Patriots story. I don't even know if it'll pop up here, but that one will be right there.
Yeah, and Druzy.
Yeah, that's my kicker. That's my kicker. Shout out to Teresa, man. That's a positive football story, real quick, man. That's my kicker right there. And that's the stuff that people want to see. That's the coverage that they're gonna do. So if the Patriots have that up there, what do you think it's gonna look like if she's coming up and there's so many women's football leagues going on, everything is like the girl movement's going on, NFL flag at work. We're actually bringing it into Pennsylvania and New York. It's gonna be the first high school with girls flag leagues, and then you have Deshaun Watson as your pro quarterback.
Yeah. It's not a good look.
It's not a good. The same reason why Ray Rice had no charges on him. He never went back into the league. But the flip side to it is Deshaun Watson's a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
What do you throw in?
It's a domino.
Yeah, when you're an elite quarterback or elite player, what do you let slide? So it'll be tough. Even when Ben had his sexual assault case, it got thrown under the rug because he was an elite quarterback. So but 22 cases. I don't know.
I don't think that can happen though.
No, especially nowadays.
Oh. No.
And then I think the other thing too is there's so many more female reporters that are very vocal, and they'll talk like Mina. Was it Mina Kimes? Mina Kimes. She's huge. I love her. And you have the His and Her podcast. I mean, trying to think of
Abby Chin.
Abby
Sports.
There's no way they'll let that slide.
No.
But I mean, he's a great athlete, and before everything happened, it was actually talking about possibly going to the Raiders, and I got a little excited about it. But now,
even the Patriots, but then all this, not that it was ever gonna. I never believed it was gonna happen ever. But even then, it's I just don't see him. I personally think he's done.
And the other thing too is, real quick on Jimmy G, they were talking about a possible first-round pick. They want a first-round pick for him now. And I think San Fran might be looking like there's no other quarterback on the market anymore. So he's the only big fish out there. So they may have to take whatever they can get. So that probably helps some other teams.
Listen here. That's the final thing I'll say about him today. We didn't even get to talk to him, my guy. Oh, I don't even have the picture anymore. Well, anyway, I have a picture of him in the Patriots uniform because Bill Belichick, you better give up a first-round pick. I agree if you don't want to give up number 15 this year, fine, okay. But all right, San Fran, you want 2022's first round pick? You want a 2023 first round pick? Give them one next year's. Do something. You can't go in with Cam Newton this year. You don't go out and sign all these free agents and waste a prime year of Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith with Cam Newton.
Now
you just don't do it.
Are you sending Cam and your first round pick?
No. Why would they want Cam?
Well, I mean, if you can't go in there with Jimmy G, Cam, and Stidham.
I think you can trade in Camp. You can because Cam's money is you can cut him easily.
Oh, you can? I thought it was guaranteed. He doesn't have guaranteed money.
No, it's all. I think like 2 million's guaranteed almost, or maybe 6 or something. 5 or 6 is guaranteed. The rest he has to, in order to get to like 14 or 15, he has to be Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, yeah. I think the other problem too is there's such a different quarterback. To go into training camp, you can't have them both. You know, like being a coach, you want 2 quarterbacks that's like somewhat similar. Just so if one goes down, you don't have to rework your whole offense. So if you did trade for him, you can't bring him and Cam into camp at the same time.
I think ideally it would be cool. I promised final thing to say, because you have to go to Easter, go do stuff for the Easter Bunny. Final thing to say is I wouldn't mind a situation where they trade for Garoppolo. They have Newton. I think Stidham's done. I don't think Stidham, whatever. And they draft a quarterback, maybe with that 15 pick or whatever, and have them 3. Training camp, battle it out. If somehow, some way, Newton does better than the draft quarterback right now, then you got a little Breeze, Taysom Hill kind of situation where you can put Newton in maybe on especially if he's not going to get interest from anywhere else. You got kind of a red zone thing with him. And then that's the situation I talked about last year where why not put him – there was a couple times where like put Stidham in the game, put Newton out there, do something, fake him out. Maybe you run the ball with a running back and you just have both of them out there. They never did any of that. That's the only situation where I would be okay with Cam Newton being here. Other than that, I think they battle it out. I think Jimmy G would probably win. And then you get the guy who they drafted as Case when Garoppolo gets hurt, because he will.
I think at 15, the way the market is, you have to get inside the top 10 for a quarterback, just because these quarterbacks are flying. They're all like in the top 4. So if you want a quarterback, the Patriots aren't trading up for a quarterback.
No, they have to wait. There's so much capital they have to give up. Yeah, I don't blame them if they don't do that.
And honestly, I think Trevor Lawrence is legit, clear cut. I think Mac Jones, being an Alabama guy, I think he's overrated. He had 4 first-round picks. If you can't throw with those guys, you can't throw. Mm-hmm. And then I think the kid from Ohio State, I think depends on the offense. If he goes to the 49ers, he's going to be an elite. But if the Jets,
I think they're sleeping on those 2 kids. I think with all the hype with Zach Wilson, I'm sure he's good, but I don't think he's going to be. I think all this hype last minute for him over the past 2 months. Yeah. I don't think that's a great thing. And they're sleeping on Lance and Fields. Yeah,
Fields. I think Fields just needs to go to the right team, though. You put him in a spread offense.
I think he'd be perfect in San Francisco.
Him and Kittle would have a field day.
Perfect. And even in Shanahan's office, it's not like you saw it with Garoppolo. He's not going to have them in a lot of situations and throw a lot. It's a lot of running backs. It's a lot of play action. It's a lot of get the ball out of the QB's hands quick. So I think he would adapt to that because he can run. He's athletic. He can throw. His short game's a little off, but he can throw. And he can make things happen. So I think he'd be perfect in San Fran.
440.
Yeah.
You can't teach that.
No, he'd be perfect there. But and if they did trade up and get a quarterback like a top 5 or something, quarterbacks somewhere the Patriots, then I'd be okay with Cam Newton staying here. But other than that, no, I'm good. But anyway, any final thoughts before you head off?
Andre Drummond, get healthy. We need you. Heal that big toe. We need you down the stretch. We'll be back next week to talk about this again. But next week definitely more Laker talk. But other than that, man, have a big week coming up. Stay healthy, and these guys get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. If you're not getting vaccinated right away, put that mask on. Wear that mask. The portal's open. Get out there. Get vaccinated. Stay healthy. Let's get back and have a good summer, man. We want to get out there, play some kickball. We want to get out there,
play a kickball.
Good summer, man. So definitely get vaccinated. If you don't, wear those masks. And if you get vaccinated, still wear the mask. Stay healthy, fellas.
Hey, everyone stay healthy. Wish you guys and enjoy your Easter. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. Peace out.